How you doing, man? I don't actually talk like that. But it would be funny if I did. My high school coach did talk like that. And he was always calling us men, and we just thought it was funny. I mean, we didn't look at ourselves as men, right? But what's interesting is at my age now, I've come to understand just how impactful my high school years have been on the rest of my life. So I would say if you don't consider yourself a man in this room today, you would be well served to figure out exactly what that means to you by the time you graduate. To me, part of being a man is considering where you're at in your life and thinking strategically about where you're at and how you can take the best advantage of the time in which you are currently living. Let me give you a visual representation of the time between 15, 16, 17, where you young men are sitting here today, and the ripe old age of 35. I got a couple gray hairs. Where I'm standing here today. This is how quickly that goes. And I mean it. It means like literally just yesterday, it felt like I was sitting where you are with my brothers having an experience like you're having here tonight. By the end of this conversation tonight, I hope that when you hear a snap, whether it's someone snapping their fingers, or maybe it's in your favorite Rihanna song, I don't know where you might hear it. When you hear a snap, that you think about how quickly time passes, and that in that moment that you hear that snap, you consider what you're doing with your time in that moment. Time will be a recurring theme tonight, and I'm not trying to make you anxious, make you worry about how quickly it's going by. I just want to give you 20, 23 years of perspective on how quickly it goes, and I hope that our talk tonight makes you a more committed teammate, son, friend, and athlete. That's my goal here tonight. So now you're thinking, who the heck is this guy? Well, let me first tell you, I'm not from Minnesota. My wife and I moved here 3.5 years ago. I'm originally from the Pacific Northwest. So in high school, I was a pretty decent athlete. Played 3 sports, serviceable forward on the basketball team, terrible quarterback, I'm not going to get into that, and a pretty dang good baseball player. So after my senior year, I was drafted by the Houston Astros in the 30th round. Chose to go to community college, so then if I got drafted again, I could sign. So I went to Yakima Valley Community College, the home of the Yaks. You can Google that. And I played 2 sports there. So I played basketball and baseball. Again, serviceable forward on the basketball team, probably a little undersized, good rebounder, but a pretty dang good baseball player. After 2 years there, I got my AA. I was drafted again by the Astros, but again, I said no, because I wanted to go play baseball in Division I, so I wanted to go play in the Pac-10, which is now the Pac-12 for you guys here in the Midwest. So my plan was, let's go to Wazoo. I'll be a top 10 first baseman in the country, sign in the 5th or 6th round, and I'll just start my baseball career, and off I'll be. Well, as it happens in life sometimes, it didn't work out that way. I wasn't very good, the team wasn't very good, and there I found myself at 21 years old in 2002 with a degree in communications and no more eligibility left, right? Well, as you may know, this is important to remember for you guys. Once you get into college, you have 5 years of college to play 4 years of eligibility in any sport. So even though I had played my 4 years of baseball, I still had 1 year of eligibility in another sport, as long as I went back to school, even though I already had my degree. So I got this crazy idea. I'm gonna take out a loan and re-enroll in school as a college freshman, and I'm gonna play football. Now you gotta understand, the Washington State Cougs had played in the Rose Bowl the year before. We got beat by Oklahoma, but this was a top-notch Pac-10 football team. And here I am, a guy who hasn't put pads on in 4 years, and I'm gonna go play football? This is my first speaking point. Don't feel the need to tell everybody about what your plans are. Tell everybody about what you're doing. I knew if I went to my former baseball teammates, my old high school buddies, and said, hey, guess what? I'm gonna play for the Cougs, and here's how I'm gonna do it, and believe me, I feel really positive about it, then what do I gotta deal with? I gotta deal with their opinion on my vision, on my dream. I got to listen to them say, what do you want to take out another loan for? Why do you want to re-enroll in school and have to do all that studying and go to those classrooms and do all the lectures and everything? Why would you do that? So you know what I did instead? I used the time I could have used telling everybody about what I was doing, and I got to work. I started running stairs 3 days a week. Started running 100-yard sprints 3 days a week. I got back on that squat rack because I knew I hadn't carried pads on my body in 4 years. I knew I needed the leg strength. I got back on that bench press because I knew I was going to have to push and move bodies around a football field, something my body hadn't done in 4 years. Now keep in mind, I know this is a crazy concept. These were the days when you could only make calls with cell phones, okay? There was no pictures, no posting, no sharing, no likes. You're going, oh man, Steve, that sounds terrible. No, I'm telling you, it was fantastic. If you were grinding, you did it just for you, not for anybody else. You didn't take pictures of your grind. You didn't be like these Edina high school football players that I see at Crosstown Lifetime Fitness. doing a set of bench press, getting on their phone. Doing a set of bench press, getting on their phone. What could you do with the 2 minutes in between each rep, each set of bench that you're doing? You could go do an ab. You could go do a leg. Add that up over one workout. Add that up over a week. Add that up over a month. Add that up over a year. How much time is wasted sharing, looking for likes, posting? Now, I know this hurts, guys. I'm just giving you a little perspective, all right? So, I make the team. I was a pretty decent athlete. And as with anything in my life, I planned on it being a rousing success. I'm thinking I'll catch a few passes, maybe be a number 4, number 5 wide receiver, a position I never played. But when I was 20, boy, I could get up and jump a little bit. I could run a little faster than I can. Now I'm thinking I'm going to play. Well, as with some things in life, it didn't necessarily work out that way. So I'm on the team. I'm at practice every day. And as we get closer to the season starting, it becomes pretty apparent I'm going to be a scout team guy. Every team needs them. And I'm saying to myself, you know what? I just don't need this. I'll just de-enroll in school, cancel the loan, save the money. I'll just quit. I don't need to do this. If I'm not starting or I'm not playing a lot, I don't want to play. Luckily, I had 3 or 4 guys who'd been scout team guys their whole career at Washington State. A backup quarterback, a backup receiver, a backup running back who was about this big, a backup kicker. These guys pulled me to the side after practice one day with about 4 weeks to go before the season. They said, Mort, that's what they call me. My last name's Mortimer. Mort, if you quit this football team, you will regret it for the rest of your life. We're going to be good. We're going to go to a bowl game. And we went to a bowl game last year, and it was a life-altering experience. Now, in that moment, I had to make a decision about what I was going to do. I had to change my mindset. I had to strategically think, if I'm going to stay on this football team, I got to change my role. This is my second talking point. Sometimes your life is best used, or your time is best used, making other people better. Is there a scout team guy, scout team player of the week on this team? Who's the best scout team player on this team? Can he stand up? Can somebody tell me there's a scout team guy on this team that just busts his butt every stinking day? I know there's somebody. Be proud. Stand up. Everyone's calling you out. Thank you. Give him a hand. Give him a hand. Now this will be quick. This you got to stay standing. Do you love this guy right now? Do you respect this guy? Do you honor this man? Because I'll tell you why. Time is flying. Right now it's flying. If he asks you over for dinner, if he needs help on a project at the house, maybe the parents said, hey, you want to come out on the pontoon this weekend on Lake Minnetonka? I encourage you to encourage this man and be a part of his life, because literally this quickly it will all be over. You can go ahead and have a seat. Thank you. I would predict your team's success the rest of the way on how valued that man is. Let me ask you another question. Do you know the janitor at this high school? Do you? There's probably a couple guys that do. Do you know the lead trumpet player in the pep band for this beautiful high school? Do you know that person's name? Do you know the guy that plays that bass drum that you hear when you're in the locker room before the game with your brothers? Have you taken the time to share your appreciation for what they do? When we understand and appreciate all of the work that other people put in that makes what we do, you do, possible on the football field, we can more deeply experience every moment that we have on that football field. Study hall's out. That includes the parents over here. That includes the coaches. Let me say it again. When you take the time to share your appreciation for what other people do to make what you do possible, it allows you to deeply experience your time on the field in a more profound way. Here's my third talking point. You don't need to waste your time in your life and this season trying to figure out who you are. Sometimes I feel bad, and I know I make myself sound old here. Sometimes I feel bad for your generation. You're so encouraged to think about yourself, to take pictures of yourself, to find yourself, to differentiate yourself. But I'm here to tell you that's no way to spend your time. I'm here to tell you that that is not a road to fulfillment. I'm here to tell you that without the people in this room and in this community, you wouldn't be much. I can tell you who you are. You are a reflection of your brothers on this team, your parents and your coaches in this room, and this absolutely beautiful community that you live in. You will see after high school, some of your friends are going to go off and they're going to try any number of odd things to try to find out who they are. They'll eventually just be led back to this room. Therefore, you have an obligation to nurture the relationships in this room, on this team, and in this community, because without those relationships, how can you help to improve yourself? I know this is some deep stuff, but do you understand what I'm saying? All right, all right. This is another hard one. I encourage you guys to get your heads out of your stinking phones. I encourage you to look around and observe your environment. I encourage you to meet the needs of people in your school and in your community. And I encourage you to observe the habits of successful people in this room and in your community. You know, there's nothing wrong with being an All-American. I'm not talking on the field, boys. I'm talking in life. There's nothing wrong with being on time, caring about your reputation, right? Talking, acting, dressing in a professional manner. Why do you think I got this gear on tonight? If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. This outfit tonight is evidence of my preparedness for how excited I was to be here with you guys tonight. How much time I put in trying to choose the correct words that would be impactful for you. It represents my family. It represents that I care about my reputation. There's nothing wrong with being an All-American. All of the things that you were doing here in high school will make you happy the rest of your life. Don't ever forget that. Learning, being active, being engaged with people, these are all, being part of a team, these are all things that you should pursue for the rest of your life. They will always make you happy. All right, now I know when you play high school football or college, you get good at following orders, right? Here's what I need you to do. Every time I say 1, 2, 3, I need you to snap your fingers. Get your fingers ready. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Close your eyes. We're going to do a little visualization. Breathe. Close your eyes. The room is silent. Everybody's eyes are closed. Be in the moment. Here's what I want you to do. Visualize the moments before tomorrow night's game. You're sitting there in the locker room with your brothers. I want you to feel the way your pads protect and surround your body. I want you to hear the pound of that pep band bass drum in that new stadium in Shakopee as everybody is waiting for the Trojans to come down. 1, 2, 3. Well done, man. Now I want you to see the moment when you run onto the field. I want you to smell the night air, feel that bounce in your legs, that adrenaline. Hear the sound of the crowd. 1, 2, 3. Now put yourself in the play. Put yourself on the field, on the sideline, wherever you'll be for that game. Look to your left. You know who's there? Look to your right. You know which one of your brothers is there. Hear their voices. Hear their calls. 1, 2, 3. Now, based on your position, feel your specific movements. The way you get into your legs and you get your head out in front to deliver that block. Keeping your head up and wrapping the runner's legs to make the tackle. The way it feels to open your hips and turn to run as that receiver makes his move. 1, 2, 3. Now all of you feel that feeling when you stick your foot in that turf to make that cut. And as you stride smoothly up the field as you hit the open field. 1, 2, 3. Now, take your time. Think about those moments and how quickly they pass. And how many of them you have left here at this school, in this community, with these brothers. 1, 2, 3. Open your eyes. Might be feeling anxious, heart rate might be up a little bit, and you're probably thinking, Mort, how on earth, if you've talked about time tonight, how I should spend my time, now I feel anxious. How can I take full advantage of the time I have here? How can I capture it? How can I honor it? I'll tell you how. There's 5 ways. Number 1, don't waste your time telling other people about your plans. Instead, use that time to execute those plans. Number 2, often your time is best used to make other people better. Make other people feel better. Make other people feel appreciated. When we express appreciation for the time other people are putting in, it allows us to more fully experience the depth of each moment on that field, all that went into it. Number 3, we're almost done. Don't waste your time trying so hard to figure out who you are, man. You are already a reflection of your brothers, your coaches, your parents, and this amazing community. It's okay to be an All-American. Last one. Sorry, number 4. Play the game with no fear in your heart. Instead, play the game with joy and enthusiasm in your spirit. That is the only way to play the game of American football. It's the only way to play. You cannot play this game with fear. You cannot play this game with worry. You can only play this game with joy and enthusiasm. And the last one, number 5, be in every single moment. Don't shy away. Don't waste a minute, a play, a practice, a day, a week, a game. You cannot control time. You can only manage what you do with it. All right? Now, I got some cards here that you guys can take with you that has my speaking points on it. We're going to have the captains hand them out here. You can put those cards in your wallet. You can put them in your locker. You can put them in your room. You can throw them away if you want, but I'm telling you, that's some good stuff. All right? Good luck tomorrow. Good luck the rest of the way. Being here and speaking with you guys was truly an honor. I appreciate it.